So I was thinking about this the other night, and you and I kind of talked about this off podcast, but I was thinking about Jackass and the situation with them, and everyone hopefully knows who Jackass is and the success that they had on MTV. They were, and they had a very successful career, but they were probably 7 to 10 years before they could have potentially owned the distribution, owned the IP, owned all the rights to the movies, owned the show. Where, when they started to blow up, I don't even think they blew up. I think it was a situation where MTV kind of found them, right? Yeah. And assembled the crew and then completely owned the property, which I'm thinking is the case. And I'm totally guessing. I don't know if MTV.
Yeah, I don't know the inside story either.
Yeah, I would imagine that they own it. And then they brought in a production company, and the rest is history. And the reason it came up was I saw Steve-O. I was doing a comedy tour, and he's having a very successful YouTube career. He started a channel. It's doing great. But it just kind of got me thinking of like, wow, they actually don't have any ownership over the property that they were a part of for so long. But had they have been in this generation of YouTubers, they, potentially could have formed around a YouTube channel, owned the channel, had ownership, some type of ownership over their content. And it's just not the case. And so it's just a kind of an interesting example for me of like a content group pre-YouTube, owned by a larger organization who owned everything. And for the most part, I don't think it ended poorly for anyone. I would imagine they're going to do some kind of a movie in the next like 5 years just to kind of bring everyone back. But that was like something you and I were talking about off camera, that came up.
It's super interesting. There's a question that I'm always thinking about, and like, which is just like, if you were to start, I don't know, so-and-so business today, like how would it look? Like if you were to start, I always say to like the Yes Theory team, I'm like, if you were to start like Patagonia today or something like that, it would probably look close to how Yes Theory has positioned themselves. And I think like Nelk in some cases is like Jackass meets Barstool, right? Like, It's like if you were to start those today, like it probably looks like Nelk. And so I think there's a lot of really interesting things if you just look probably in the past 10, 20 years of some of the biggest either media or just brands in general. We're going to see probably all those recreated, but within like a personality driven world where you have these teams ideally again coming together for the bigger thing, which is actually seems to be just like an overall theme that we've talked about across both of these previous episodes as well, where it's like try and create something that has more value than just yourself, have value accrue to something bigger than just your own personal brand, and build other things. And I think when you have it accrue to a larger brand like a Dude Perfect or a Jackass or a Nelk or something, the opportunities to build things around that there's a multiplier on that. And I think there's going to be a lot that happens within this space.